Hello.
Hi. Welcome to Kill the Mood podcast. So we're just going to do our usual. You know how it begins. We're here talking to you about everything spooky dooky. There'll be lots of true crime, but just also general mysteries. Some will be solved and some will leave you hanging. We're just two girls putting the world to rights, but not really. We just like yapping. I'd also like to add that we are not professionals, just two ladies who apparently like the sound of their own voices enough to record them, and believe that you will too. We mean no offence in anything we say. We, like a huge percentage of the world, find all of this unfathomable, and this is just our own little way of trying to make sense of the senseless. So without further ado, this week's subject is...
Levi Bellfield. Yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't whoop whoop for
Well,
that man.
no, yeah. He is a little rat bag, I'm not going to lie. I'm not a fan of this man, but... And I've literally learned everything there is to know.
Yeah, and he does look
him.
like someone has stuffed sausage meat into a human form.
He actually does. He is built, like, literally massive. And we will actually get on to why.
Oh,
in a
okay.
bit, because he is unnaturally huge, this man. It's quite terrifying.
Yeah, the idea of being stuck in a room with someone like him is so scary.
Yeah. He's also fully giving, like, Monsters, Inc. character. Like, big slug energy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's one of the
The
UK's...
one that's like, Mike 1000.
I'm watching you.
I'm watching you.
Yeah, he is one of the UK's most notorious serial killers. So yeah, let's dig right in. This might be quite a long one.
Might be two-parter.
We don't know.
We haven't decided yet,
Yeah,
so we'll let
This
you
is the
know.
longest notes that we've had so far. So we're just going to see where we end up. But if so, you'll be hearing my voice for 2 weeks in a row. So you're welcome.
Yeah. And just for reference, I think we were just talking about the longest one we've done so far is 5 or 7 pages. Amy's currently got 12.
12. 12. Also, I feel like that's why we decided it might be a two-parter, is because I was getting through this and it was getting not towards the end, but like I could tell that I was just... There was still so much more, and I'd get to another bit of research and I'd be like, oh my God, there is another whole lead, another whole rogue bit here. And I was like, I'm rushing it. I could feel that I was rushing it. And then, yeah, I spoke to Tanisha and she was like, just don't, why would you do that? Just, if it's too long, we'll put it into 2. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how we go. At this rate,
Yeah.
it will be a 9 part.
Yeah. We're going to be doing 6 parts and then maybe a mini.
This will be us for the rest of the year. Cool. Friday the 19th of August, 2004. Amélie Martine Josette de Lagrange.
Oh.
Yes. A 22-year-old girl from Paris who had recently moved to London, was finishing work and heading to a wine bar to meet some friends. She'd actually originally moved to London earlier in the year, in April. Apparently it was to improve her English at the start, but soon she loved the way of life and she decided to stay.
Oh, great
yeah.
choice.
I know, it doesn't
Fucking
end
hell.
very well for her, unfortunately, which is really sad. But yeah, she'd made lots of friends. She also had a partner who's also French. I don't know why I've put that in there, but it's just that, yeah, just, I don't know, like French couples, cute.
Just need to let you know that they're incredibly sexy.
Yeah, they
You don't
definitely
need to know anything more about them.
Yeah, the names, the French vibes, like, yeah, sexy couple. But yeah, she seemed really happy. The wine bar was called Crystals, with a Z.
Oh,
Yeah.
that
Twickenham.
sounds like a classy establishment.
It's a wine bar, though, instead of it being like a
That
shop.
don't mean shit. Don't mean shit.
True, yeah.
I feel like
I've fallen down
so
the
many-
stairs at many wine bars in my time.
so many wine bars can be like, yeah, we're a wine bar, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't look at the Z that we've decided
So
to whack
true.
in this title.
Yeah, so true. Also, I can like just imagine the stamp that doesn't come off for 3 weeks.
Yeah. Why do you only sell red, white or rosé if you're a wine bar?
They sell all of them with lemonade.
Yeah, and they're all called red, white and rosé.
Yeah, so the wine bar is called Crystals with a Z in Twickenham on the River Thames, which is Twickenham is on the outskirts of London. I have started to try and get a little bit better with my geography. So I was like, Twickenham, I know where that is. And then I was like, check.
I refuse to do that. I'm just going to keep making it up
Yeah,
until
I was like,
somebody corrects me.
To be fair, our friend messaged us after the first one being like,
Oh,
I can't
yeah.
even remember where it was.
It was... Yeah, it was Hertfordshire.
And he was like, how the fuck
Do you not
know
know
where that
that?
is?
Yeah.
That's literally where I grew up. I was like, I'm so sorry. We're from South.
Yeah. I'm actually not. I should definitely know a little bit more. Oh, fuck it.
Yeah. The mid of the land.
Yeah, education there. It's like, oh, stop shitting on Birmingham Station.
We
Jesus,
love
leave it alone. I had to apologise to my mum on the phone the other day. She was literally like, yeah, you have been shitting on it quite a bit.
Yeah, I saw that she followed us and I was like, oh, hi.
What?
Okay, after she'd had a drink with her friends at Crystal's, she crossed the road and waited for a bus home, but unfortunately she does not make it home. Her friends later tell the police that when she left the bar, she had her bag, she had a Walkman, and she had her mobile phone with her. Like a little iPad.
A little iPad.
Little iPad for humans. For you boomers. No,
For you boomers.
that's not it.
No.
Every time. For you young'uns out there.
You little
a
Gen Z,
Walkman
yeah.
is like a little iPod-esque
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
Some little headphones attached.
Yeah, our music didn't used to be on our phone. It did, but we'd record it from the radio and it was really bad quality. But then,
Yeah.
like, we'd illegally download stuff from LimeWire onto our Walkman.
I remember just one time I had that song that was like, can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars? That one.
Yeah.
That was just like the only song that I had downloaded. So I literally used to just listen to it on repeat because I was like,
Yeah.
I don't have
I literally
anything else
remember
right now.
having one of those Sony Ericsson, like the little flip ones, and they were such shit quality
Yeah.
that like the flip would constantly break off.
Yeah.
But like the buttons at the bottom were just like big play buttons. I don't
Yeah.
even know where the buttons for the phone. I can't remember what it looked like.
Yeah.
But it was
So
the
tiny.
stupidest, dumbest phone. But everything that I had on there was either illegally downloaded on LimeWire, or I would just hear them announce a song I liked and I'd just put it next to the radio.
Yeah.
And record it.
Yeah, you just have a little bit of muffled Avril Lavigne
Yeah.
and you'd be like, oh, this banger. Yeah, so she's got her Walkman, her phone and her bag. I also read in an article that actually she invited her boyfriend Olivier over, called them around 8:30 p.m, but he was in the process of moving house, so he declined, and later obviously is so gutted about this because he actually says, oh, I might have been able to stop this from happening.
Or you might have been another victim. Don't hold yourself to that standard.
Yeah, it is just so sad because
is.
it's not your fault,
It is, yeah.
but yeah, it's just, it sucks. Yeah, so around 10 p.m, a man named Tristan... Sorry, I don't know why I laughed at that. A man named Tristram Beasley Suffolk.
Oh, Tristan. That's why you laughed at it. Sorry, I thought you were trying to say Tristan, but you just kept laughing.
Tristram, I think.
Do you think his mum slipped while she was writing the end?
Yeah. You know when you're signing your signature and you just do two...
And you're like, oh, I've gone
Yeah,
one
yeah,
wave
yeah.
too many.
No one will notice. Yeah, so Tristram, I think, Beasley Suffolk. And he was walking near Twickenham Green when he found Amelie lying face down on the ground in the recovery position with a severe head wound.
Sorry. Face down in the recovery position.
You're supposed to be face down in the recovery position, aren't you? Obviously not your face. Sorry.
No, your face absolutely shouldn't be in the ground.
Face to the side, but I'm talking about whether you're on your back or you're face down. You're supposed to be face down with your head to the side, right?
You're supposed... What? You're supposed to be lying on your front?
Why can't I think of the recovery position? You lift the leg up, you roll the person...
Yeah, to the side. So you start, when you're starting the recovery position, you lift the leg up, like
And then you
into a
roll
little
them onto
triangle,
their, like,
and then you roll them
semi-front.
onto their side.
Okay, yeah, okay.
She shouldn't be face
No,
down.
no, sorry, okay, I'll rephrase. I literally thought for a second that you meant the recovery position was on their back.
Oh.
This is not possible.
Yeah, no.
We
Yeah,
we've been
I'll just
first aid
put
trained.
her into recovery while she gargles. What?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
basically,
yeah.
sorry. She's like in the recovery position.
Sorry, I wasn't doubting that she was in the recovery position.
Yeah,
What I was confused about is how she was face down and in the
Yeah,
recovery
no,
position.
sorry, I think I just mean like she's in the recovery position.
But her face is down.
But yeah, body facing down.
Okay,
like side
right.
down. I just mean as in she's not on her back.
Yeah.
Basically.
She's in the recovery position, would have been fine.
All right, give you more details
Yeah.
and also confuse the shit out of you at the same time. I was like, for a second, what is the recovery position?
Yeah.
What have I said? Anyway, she's like facing down-ish. Let's just go with
She's
that.
on her side.
And she's had a severe head wound. The head wound was inflicted by a hard blow to the back of the head with a blunt and heavy object, and in all probability it was some sort of hammer. She has no possessions on her person, but she was dressed as if she was on a night out. Like, they find out later she was on a night out, but like at the start it's like there's nothing on her, but we assume that she's been on a night out because of how she's dressed.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah. There's
glitter.
men for you. It's like, oh, look at her. She looks all right. She must have been out.
Yeah, she looks like she's.
I mean,
crystals.
to be fair, she was out.
Yeah, I mean, she was out, but I just was like, I don't really know what that means, especially because like sometimes I'll go to work in like my most dressed up self.
Yes.
And then other times I'll go out on a night out in like tracky bottoms.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
I feel like you can't really tell, but I don't really know. She was rushed to West Middlesex Hospital, but she died soon after arriving. DCI Colin Sutton was the senior investigating officer on this case. And to research this, I read his book. I think it's just called
I
Manhunt.
didn't know you could read.
It's the reason why this is 12 pages long is because I have it in massive.
She's got one letter a page.
And we're done.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all 12 pages. Yeah, I read his book for the research for this. It's called Manhunt, and it was actually a really good book. Like, some of it you are a bit like...
Have you got it? Did you just...
No, it's on my Kindle.
Oh, I can't borrow
Yeah.
it.
But you can borrow my Kindle, to be fair. I trust you.
You shouldn't.
I don't know why I wouldn't trust you. I shouldn't. So yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'd read it if you're interested, but I'm about to tell you basically everything in it. There's just a few other things of him, like, actually... Yeah, and I think that this man is, like, elite. Like, he does so
For
much.
1 second, I feel like I just died and had a seizure, and then thought you were talking about Levi Bellfield, and I was like, Amy, we can't say that. We just can't.
I love the serial killer. No, I
like
don't.
so many people since I said we started the podcast have literally been like, so who's your favourite serial killer? I was like, should probably not say it like that.
But if you're asking...
But if you are going to ask
Now
me,
you're asking.
I'll take the moles murderers. No, they're bad. I hate them.
Yeah. No, I love DCI
Sutton.
Yeah, Colin Sutton. He does so many things in this case. Yeah, it's...
We've had some good stories about some good coppers.
Good old Cuppa in. Yeah, so first things first, they aim to trace the missing phone that should have been on Amelie's person, because I guess, like, they thought that might have some sort of help as to where she'd been and, like, what she'd been doing and if she'd called anyone and whatever, and obviously it's gone, so they're like, why is that gone? The Telephone Intelligence Unit at Scotland Yard investigated this, and they discovered the last time that her phone was used was around 10:23 in the evening. Basically, her body was found by Tristram around 10:20, but the last time her phone was used was around 10:23. So the phone had to have still been on after she'd been killed.
Okay.
So the way that they worked this out was like they managed to team up with T-Mobile, which was her network, to locate the phones.
R.I.P. Not her. T-Mobile, I mean also her.
Yeah.
But T-Mobile, for sure.
Yeah, they managed to team up with T-Mobile, and they like use the network to locate the phone's last whereabouts. So it's not like a telephone mast ping to like connections. It's like just specifically through that network. So they don't like need... I don't know how to explain what they're trying to do, but it's not like a telephone mast ping. It's a network finding the phone and locating to the closest mast
Okay.
that it can
Yeah.
from when it was last
From
used.
when it was last used.
Yeah, it was in Walton-on-Trent, which is 6.5 miles from where the body was found. But then after this, the phone just completely disappears. So the info from T-Mobile means that it wasn't turned off, because apparently T-Mobile would know that. So like when you turn a phone off, the network, it like tells the network that it's like switching it off and that it's not connected to that network anymore until you turn it back on, and then it's hello network, let's connect.
Hello, network, let's connect.
Hello network.
Sounds like fucking LinkedIn.
Let's connect. Yeah, so they basically know that it hadn't have been turned off. So this was like, there has to be other ways. So it's not like someone's just been like, oh, I need to turn this phone off so it can't track me. So one of the options is that the battery could have been removed. It could have been in an area that the signal was lost and then it never came back into signal in that area.
Okay.
Or it could have been thrown into water. So they were like, okay, we're right next to the River Thames, so that's probably quite a likely situation. So they sent divers into the area. This is all, I think this is like the next day. Colin Sutton actually does this like weird thing where they go to the area like where the last connection was made, and they dive in that area, but he actually stops them and then sends them to the south end of the bridge, because he was like, this is like a public area, and if you were like on foot or if you were like driving away from that area, you'd end up like in this quite big public area where people might not really notice you just like hanging out, and it's like a more likely place for you to like
Thrown it.
Yeah, so basically he sends them there because it would just be super easy to dispose of things there, even though everyone's said that's not really where we're meant to be looking. And literally, on a whim, within half an hour of their second dive, they found her keys, her purse, and her Walkman.
Fucking
I know.
props.
He just did it like off the bat. He was just like, realistically, this is the more likely place that you'd go to fling something off the edge. And
wow.
yeah, he's a little queen.
What an absolute queen.
Yeah, he's definitely in the right job, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this shows someone that had fled the scene and quickly dumped her stuff in the river. So from her getting off the bus and then getting attacked and then her items being dumped 6 miles away, it had been all within 20 minutes. So they tested this and there's absolutely no way that this could have been done on foot.
Okay.
All of these things. So like with him like actually doing like her getting off the bus and then her getting murdered and then this person getting to this place and disposing of it and then the phone hitting the water.
So there's a vehicle involved.
Yeah. So they know that there's a vehicle involved.
At least a fucking electric bicycle.
Yeah, just something.
Yeah.
Anything that is like
You are
making
not on
quicker
foot.
Yeah, for sure. So they check the CCTV around the area of the bus stop and there's a Ford Courier white van that was parked 7 feet away from where she was attacked. And it had been there when Amelie had arrived and remained there for only 10 minutes. So it had got there just before she got off the bus and then it was like around for probably the right amount of time of her getting murdered
And then
driving off, and they still could have made it in time to dump the
Okay.
stuff in the river. There was also a report of a man standing around smoking roll-ups by Twickenham Green around 10 p.m. So the police literally collected and tested all the cigarette butts in the specific location of this sus man.
Fucking hell.
I know.
I'm actually creaming over the picture. That's not the right.
Okay, girl.
Okay.
Okay, girl. That's what he's
Clean
doing.
up on aisle me. That's
wild.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
That is so good though.
Some of the coppering in this is like literally so good.
Yeah.
Like it's making up for a lot of other
Yeah,
issues
yeah.
we've had on this pod so
I've
far.
got some
So.
faith.
However, they couldn't recognise the fucking number plate again.
Here we go.
CCTV couldn't pick it up. Like, I do not know what was going on with cameras in
They
the
fucking
late
dandoed
90s.
it.
Yeah, literally, that was the late 90s. This is the early 2000s. Like, literally go away. But there were some things about the van that made it different. So apparently one wheel trim was missing. Oh, also just going back, I don't think the ciggy butts came to anything.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
They
just,
tried.
just to let you know, they were trying, but I don't really think that came to anything. Like, even if they did get DNA from it, it's like this could have literally
Imagine
been...
getting wrapped into a murder investigation just because you decide to have a fucking cig.
Yeah, and you just flicked your ciggy a
Yeah.
little bit too close to where something
You were
was
like,
going
I'm
down.
just going to have a nice little rollie on my way home.
Yeah.
Now I'm a suspect.
Yeah, also like you just being like, oh, I can't walk and smoke, so I'm just going to...
That's literally me.
Yeah, and people are like, what the hell are you doing,
Yeah.
you suspicious person?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the wheel trims was missing on this van. There's a black object on the roof. One headline, whatever the fuck that is.
What does that mean?
I don't know if it means like dish. Those things that
Like a satellite
Yeah,
dish?
satellite dish, or I don't know, maybe a extremely long antenna. I don't know, just something that was like not on every single van. So I don't think
Right.
it's like a fucking cat. One of the headlights didn't work, and the back doors were painted different colours. So he's gone for a fucking white van, but he's also gone for a specific white van, which seems to defeat the point.
Yeah, I'm not saying that would be easy to find in London because it absolutely wouldn't, but you really are narrowing it down.
Yeah, but I think because it's on CCTV, if you're like trying to look for that van, like you'd have to like a headlight not working half of the time that people are driving, you won't know that because the headlights aren't on, and like the back doors were painted different colours, but I don't know if on CCTV you know exactly what you're looking for. So the problem was that even with narrowing this down, the police had over 24,000 of this type of van in the UK at the time, and the officers had to manually go and jot down number plates of passing by vans that matched the same brand, the same make. Like manually, just sit on the road, and every single time they saw a Ford Courier or whatever it was, they just had to make notes, which is a crazy amount of work.
That is literally...
But because they couldn't narrow it down any more than that.
Yeah. That's the most tedious job I've ever heard of.
Yeah, honestly, it is so wild. And Colin was literally just, out you go, get out there, on the roads.
Fucking, again, Colin!
It's all they had to go off. So he was like, get out there and start finding anything that you can.
I fuck with it. I really do.
Yeah, but yeah, because it was their only lead, they powered through, and it's all down to bad technology, but... I literally put a strong effort coppering. Latched onto it.
Yeah, that's our thing now.
It's our new theme. So yeah, nothing happens for 5 whole weeks, and I think everyone's starting to really feel like it isn't going anywhere. Until on the 21st of September, they make this connection to a case from May earlier in the year from a 19-year-old girl called Kate Sheely. The police didn't really link these because it wasn't the same like type of attack, but the profile fit. I believe they were both blonde. And there's like a theme for him with blonde people, which we'll come on to in a little bit, but I think that's like quite a key thing. And the time and the place like really linked, so they started to like find something from that. So on the 27th of May 2004, it's like the last day of school, so everyone's like out on the town, I think, before exams. I think it's like schools ended and then exams are gonna like at that time in May when exams are gonna begin. And
relative.
Yeah.
Can't remember that shit.
No. So Kate's out with her friends on the town and she starts saying her goodbyes, and then she goes to get the bus just before midnight. She hears a car engine, but there's no lights when she gets off the bus. So she gets off the bus and she can like hear someone's engine going, and she's looking around, but she's like, there's no one here. And then she like crosses the road to get away from this car, and she's
she dead?
Who?
Kate.
Oh yeah. No.
Sorry. Oh, I was about to say, because how the fuck do we know that?
Sorry, you were like, I was like, I don't know why that really freaked me out, but I was just, I thought you were being like, I know her. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, what?
I just meant like, how do we know that she heard an engine, but she's not dead? That makes sense.
No. So basically she actually makes it out of this, but it is horrific. So she's only 300 yards from her front door when the engine like revs and it starts moving, but the lights are still off. So she's like, I know which car it is now. Someone's coming towards me. Like, this is creeping me out. So she's like trying to get away, and it speeds up like and goes right past her and does a U-turn, and it hits her. Like, he just like literally drives into her and knocks her over, and she's like lying on the floor, and then he reverses the car.
Oh my God.
Yeah, back over her again. Yeah. And then he drives over her again. So she gets ran over 3 times. It is horrible. And she's like awake for this.
When I was at school, this boy that I was friends with, I wasn't there, but I actually... Why do I feel like there was helicopters involved? Maybe there wasn't. Like, I maybe just made that up. But basically, we used to go over to this place that we called the Wreck, which is where we all hung out after school and stuff. Obviously, because we were dickheads, we used to play chicken.
Yeah.
And for anyone who, I don't know if it's just an English thing, but anyone who doesn't know what chicken is, basically, you basically run into the road, and then you see how long you can stay in the road before a car hits you.
It's real fun time.
Yeah. We weren't smart kids.
Yeah. We never claimed to be smart on this podcast.
Not once.
Never once.
But basically, I think like they were either playing chicken or they were just fucking about in the road, and a car was speeding down. And my friend, he got hit by this car, and he got hit, and I think he like jumped, and it literally fucking shattered both of his legs. Jesus. And that was once.
Yeah.
And he'd braced himself for impact, so all he could do was jump. And I think it was good that he jumped because it saved his like middle, but he shattered his legs.
That is so terrifying, isn't it? That would really, after that, I bet everyone's probably start you out there the next day.
Yeah. I don't know if we did play chicken after that, actually.
Yeah.
But I
don't
even
like
know.
To think that was...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if they were.
Legs.
Yeah, I don't know if they were playing chicken. I think they might have just been fucking about in the road.
Yeah, super dangerous though.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's not on the road. She's on the pavement trying to get home. 300 yards from her house.
Fucking horrible. Did no one see this?
So, because it's just after midnight, and I think it's like a pretty...
She was like area. 300 yards away from her door. Well, it must have been in a residential area. I'm pretty sure I'd hear if someone was running someone over outside my house.
I assume she's screaming as well, but no one seems to catch this. So she manages...
It's just the sounds of London, I guess.
Yeah. Literally, they're ignoring Jill Dando's screams. This girl screams. They're just okay. Yes, I don't know if she's screaming, but she gets ran over 3 fucking times. And she manages to get on all 4s, and she crawls her way home, and she calls her mum and 999 as well.
Oh.
She broke all of her ribs and obviously ended up with spinal damage, and she severed her liver.
Ugh.
But she didn't. He did.
Yeah.
But Bro survived, and she actually went into uni in Durham 18 months later. Like, she was just like... She
fucking little
back.
legend,
yeah,
man.
I know. So this was investigated, but nothing really came of it. And I think because she was fine, like, they looked into it, but because she survived and she bounced back and was like, I'm okay now. I hate to say it, but if it was murder...
See, this is what
It's
pisses me off
attempted.
about crime is... I sound like a fucking justice fighter now.
Now let's talk about crime.
Yeah, no, but someone who attempts to commit murder but has been unsuccessful, not due to a lack of trying, it's actually just that he didn't manage it. This person survived.
Yeah.
We say that deserves a lesser
Yeah,
sentence.
for all intents and purposes, that was murder.
Yeah, it is so... We are... What's the word? Like, it's like reactive, isn't it? Like someone has to die. Otherwise, we don't take it seriously. That's insane. Somebody runs you over 3 fucking times.
Yeah.
Their intention was for you to be dead.
Yeah, there's no way that they were like, oh, but she's probably going to survive that. Like, the intention was there to kill someone, but because she was fine, I think they looked into it. But they also 300 yards from her house, like, that girl has to walk in and out of that house all the time.
And just because she fucking survived due to her own will of surviving doesn't mean that he shouldn't go to jail for murder and that it shouldn't be treated like a murder inquiry.
Attempted murder, literally only not murder because somehow she got out of that. It annoys me, but yeah. But apparently they had similarities in looks and they were attacked in close areas to each other. Yeah. Yeah, that's Kate and Amelie. So,
Kate was first.
Yeah, so Amelie was in August of 2004 and then this happens in May of 2004. So it's like really close, but they let it go by then. And then out comes an actual like
murder.
Yeah.
And then they realised that actually the 2 cases are probably connected.
Yeah. In Kate's statement, she had also said that the vehicle was a white van and she said that there was weird features like before, like damage to the mirror and apparently blacked out windows. However, this was identified as a Toyota Previa, which isn't as common, this van. So during all of this, the police are taking tips in the local area for any insight. So these guys are focusing in on a Toyota Previa and they're also focusing on the Ford Courier van as well. And then there's also, like a tips in the local area for like insight. And this woman called Joanna Collins comes in one day and suggests that the police should look into her ex, which is such bad vibes right from the start. That is like such, like just seeing something on the news like, oh, there's been a murder and an attempted murder of someone that's literally ran someone over and hit someone in the back of the head. I think that might be my ex.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah. I think I've watched a documentary about Levi Bellfield and I know, and she was in it.
Yeah.
This Joanna.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of people in this that by them coming forward and doing things that are really hard to do.
Yeah.
It makes everything possible. Like, it's not just Sutton doing a good job.
Yeah.
It's everyone else involved in this.
But
and
that's
them
it.
Coming forward.
That's a murder inquiry, though, isn't it? It's that it's not always... There can be good work that's done. But actually, what really tends to
It's
get
who
it
knows
is
what,
it's the public.
Yeah, it's who knows what. There's the unsolved cases. There's someone out there that knows something.
Yeah.
Not all the time because some are like old, but yeah, there's.
But it's not necessarily just about... She wasn't there. No. She didn't know that he killed these women. She knew that he was
getting vibes.
Violent.
Yeah, she's just getting vibes because she also said something about the case reminded her of him.
God, that's terrifying.
Yeah. Also, apparently, just something else to know. Apparently, 130 men had been suggested by partners or ex-partners.
That's terrifying.
Well
I have dated some absolute dickheads, but I wouldn't believe any of them capable of murder.
I know, to be able to walk into a place and confidently say, you need to look into my ex-boyfriend for this murder because it sounds like something he'd do, is like just so sad right off the bat. Yeah, so she said that one day when they were together, she found a black bin liner with a jacket in it, and in the pocket of this jacket there was a balaclava, a kitchen knife and a magazine that upon opening, like an actual magazine, not a, what is the other thing? A magazine. Is that gun?
Just, like a gun magazine.
I'm talking about like the Cosmopolitan.
No, Heat.
Yeah, Heat mag. But yeah, it could well be because upon opening, all of the blonde women had been stabbed until their faces had been destroyed in this magazine.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, and when confronting her boyfriend at the time, he said that it was him and that he hated blonde women and referred to them as bitches. So yeah, he wasn't even like shy to be like, not shy. He wasn't even.
No, I was too shy.
Don't ask me
Too
about my
shy.
secret bin bag. Yeah, no, he wasn't even afraid of, ashamed of admitting these things. So yeah, the person who took the statement checked up on. So the person that originally took this statement from Joanna was like, he like checked up on the police, that because he was like, something about this really unsettles me. The way that she's talking about it makes me feel like there's something more going on. And he checked up on investigators about looking into this guy and said that something felt like a link.
So he encouraged.
Yeah, and I think that's what really set the case off, looking for this guy and set them off in the right direction. Yeah, so another person doing something good. And the name of this man is Levi Bellfield. He was born on the 17th of May, 1968. He's a white male. He's 6'1".
What does that make him? 17th of May.
I don't know. Gemini? Eek? Maybe? I don't know. I feel like Gemini vibes. Is that right?
Oh, I don't know, actually.
Let's have a little search. What did I say? The 5th? 17th. Must actually know what I said. 17th May, star sign. A Taurus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Taurus.
Yeah.
Taurus. I don't know much about them, to be honest.
Bullish.
Sorry. Yeah, it does literally.
Bullish.
Yeah, bullish. Yeah, so... Yeah, he's born on 17th of May, 1968. He's a white male, 6'1", tall, stocky man, black hair, tattoos on both arms. And at this current time that they start looking into him and finding out all of this sort of profile of him, he was on bail for GBH. And he also had an ex called Emma who was looking after their 3 children. So it was like quite a recent ex, I think.
Okay.
As well, like, this is another ex other than Joanna, and yeah, they'd had 3 kids together.
Jesus.
Yeah, he had police reports galore, so for like drugs, firearms, assault, and a few like actual convictions as well.
Maybe he did have magazines in his pocket.
Yeah, this literally could be like I think he'd done like a lot of stuff. I think there was like a thick,
Okay.
load
He's
of
got a
case
rap
file.
sheet.
Yeah, there's a lot on this man basically. There's also reports of a Ford Courier white van that they were looking for being registered to a garage called Warren Motors. And when speaking to them, they said they sold the man to a traveller called Levi. This is all, everyone's doing their little investigative things left, right and centre, and it's all coming together, and they're like, oh, this guy seems a really likely fit. Also, he had left a mobile phone number at the garage.
Okay.
All the ones on his record from previous convictions were wrong, but this one was actually right, because obviously he didn't think he was giving it directly to the police.
Yes.
They also found in his record that he had kidnapped a pub landlord, and somehow he'd explained himself away. Like, he'd explained this as a prank to the police, and somehow he got away with this.
I'm just having a little laugh.
I think he was like, oh, we know each other. And it was like just a joke.
Yeah.
I didn't really know.
No, don't worry about the bag over his head. We were just having a little giggle.
Yeah. So that was just like a part of the long list of weird things that he'd done, but somehow he just managed to explain this away. But he did this in a Toyota Previa, so that's both of the vans separately that he had been linked to. Not necessarily the Ford Courier one, because it was just Levi and they hadn't actually got to the mobile number stuff, but they were just like, there's loads of links, so they were like, this seems really likely this is our guy. So they researched more into it, and they found out that he'd recently sold the Previa to a friend of his. So they searched this friend's van for DNA, but they couldn't actually locate the Ford Courier one at all. So they put Levi Bellfield under surveillance. I think he just lives in the Twickenham area by himself. So they put him under surveillance because they can't really arrest him for anything right now, because he's already been arrested quite a few times for all the other weird shit he's done. And if they're trying to arrest him for a murder, they actually haven't got any specific links yet without that car being his at the time.
I think also you probably want to make sure the timing's right, don't you? Because you go too soon and then you have to let him go.
Spook him as well.
Yeah.
He could be just like off, he could be more careful.
Also then you're like, I'm going to bring him in for questioning, but we don't have enough evidence to hold him. So he goes home and then he has a chance to just fucking dispose of everything.
You only have a certain amount of time that you can keep someone.
Yes.
And if you have literally nothing to go off, he's going to be like, what, just because I happened to have a van that happened to run someone over last year or whatever.
But what was it, like 20,000 other people also have?
Yeah,
so.
it'll be like prove I had it at that time.
Yeah.
Just because it's the same van, it doesn't mean that there's so many things that they would just, we need to survey him, but yeah, they just wait and watch. So this is where they make a link between him and Millie Dowler, which I think is like potentially, like, alongside Madeleine McCann, like one of the most massivest missing person cases.
Absolutely huge.
Yeah, huge in the UK, like
Yeah.
literally huge. And I think like her name is maybe bigger than his name.
Yes, I would
because-
agree. Which is good.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
good.
yeah, for sure. It was so big, especially, so Millie Dowler was 13 years old when she went missing in 2002. So this is 2 years previous to all of this stuff going on. But they managed to make a link between them. But I think this was so massive because obviously she's a kid and she just went missing from literally around her local area in a blind spot of CCTV. And no one
Can
knew.
you fucking imagine that?
Honestly, nobody knew what happened. Like, literally no clue whatsoever. So they're like looking into his past and they're like digging up all of this stuff. And it became clear that in 2002, he lived at an address in a cul-de-sac in Walton-on-Thames, which is in the exact same area that Millie Dowler actually
She walked past his house, didn't she, or something? They think.
It's more to do with, he claims that they live really close together and stuff. The people that are working on the Millie Dowler case, they're from like a completely different department. So Colin Sutton can't really get involved at the start. Like, he can pass on information and stuff, but you can't take over someone's case. It's in a different area.
And she's missing at this point, isn't she? She hasn't been found.
Yeah, no. No, sorry. Her remains had been found. I think her remains were found 6 months later.
Okay.
In 2002, but there is literally no answer whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it takes them so long, so unbelievably long to sort this out. That was a bit that really pissed me off about this case, but we'll come to it. So this was on the 4th of March 2002. She left her friends after school on her way home, and she was last seen at a bus stop near the train station in this area. So a crazy factor is that the CCTV caught so much of her walk home except for one blind spot where she went missing. So it's literally like following her home.
Yeah.
But this gave off the vibes for the police that you needed to have some knowledge of the area and you're not just like seeing a kid and just kidnapping this kid. Like, you need to know. Like, so they were like, it might be someone in the area, it might be someone that knows the area, it might be someone that knows Millie's walk home, it might be someone that knows where she lives so that they know that she's not so close to home that someone might see. I don't know. Like, there was just like a lot of speculation about how it was someone that was local. And we now find out, was local. And there was no leads or answers at this point 2 years later for Millie Dowler, even after her remains were found 6 months later on. So her remains were found on the 18th of September that same year in Hampshire. So yeah, an unsolved case for 2 years of a 13-year-old, and then a link to a suspected murder and attempted murder, all within such a short space of time. So DCI Colin Sutton knew that he had to get this right, otherwise they'd be in deep shit, because you're pinning massive cases on someone, and it's circumstantial at this point. Like, it's really difficult. And yeah, like I say, there wasn't really much he could do except hand over the information, because it was Surrey Police Department that dealt with Millie Dowler's case, and there wasn't enough evidence really to create a link. It's just being like, we think this guy's sus, but we can't pin him for anything.
Yeah.
He also lived in the same area as Millie Dowler 2 years ago.
Yeah. And like, I'm sure it's there at the back of your mind being like, okay, this is a possibility.
Yeah. And
but
I don't like him.
Yeah.
He rubs me up the wrong way.
But like Sutton said, it is so important that you get it right. Otherwise, you're putting yourself in a position like you only have one chance to get it right.
Yeah. Yeah. And even if there was like a great link, they are still two completely different cases that they're working on. So that kind of gets put to bed for a little bit, but that's where the first little speculation of the links between them are. So then someone else comes forward around the same time to say that their nanny had actually been attacked in November in 2002, so back a couple of years ago, and she'd immediately left to go home to Peru after because she was like really shaken up.
Yeah.
But the guy who called in was sure that the nanny would recognise the attacker.
Yeah.
And there was a record at the hospital of this, and it was a lady called...
Fucking props to the person that called.
Yeah. Just
That's like going out of your way saying that this nanny I know was attacked. And I actually think that, that's just a new level of awareness. That's great.
Yeah, I know. I think it is important. That's what I mean. Like, you might be like, look, this might be a stretch, but it might not be a stretch.
Might not be.
Like, the fact that someone came in, my ex was sus, and I found like him stabbing out pictures of blonde women, and it actually turns out but it actually is him.
You don't fucking know. You just don't know of people. So if you have a feeling, and like we were talking about this earlier, like I'm reading this book called The Gift of Fear because Christine from And That's Why We Drink constantly recommends the book.
Okay.
Because it's such a good, it basically talks about the subtlety of understanding when your brain has registered something that you consciously have not.
Yeah.
Like the idea that you might see somebody do something and understand subconsciously in their body language that there's something wrong with them.
Yeah.
So when you have a feeling about somebody where they make you uncomfortable or your body says leave or any of those scenarios, 9 times out of 10, you should listen and stop thinking, because anxiety fights us sometimes and says, I'm overreacting.
Yeah.
But fear is a biological helper. Like, it was created to keep you from being eaten by bigger predators.
Yes.
There is a reason you understand when something is wrong.
Yeah.
And there was this whole case that they talk about in The Gift of Fear, where they're literally like, there's a lady that's like sexually assaulted. She's talking to a therapist. I think it's Gavin DeBecker, the guy that writes the book, actually. And she's talking to him and she says, I don't know how I knew that I needed to leave, but he was going to kill me.
Yeah.
But then she talks about everything that he did. He sexually assaulted her, and then he gets up and he closes the window and he says, I'm not going to hurt you. And then he goes out to the kitchen, and she knew in that moment that she had to leave. And he was like, you've just told me.
Yeah.
And she was like, what do you mean? And he was like, because he got up and he closed the window. And the only reason you do that is if you don't want someone to hear
you. Yeah, exactly. It's because it's the same in the Bible John case, where one of the victim's sisters remembered every single movement, even though she was on a night out with Bible John. And it's like you say, it's because she notices something in him that unnerves her.
There is a switch in your brain that clicks once you realise, even subconsciously, that somebody is doing something that's not right.
And like sometimes you can just be completely blindsided by a person. Like someone can pretend to be someone else entirely. You don't know what people are thinking, but whatever she thought he was thinking, she thought it was bad, and she thought it was bad enough to raise a complaint about him, and it literally was correct.
She might be
trust your instincts.
She might be the whole reason his name ever actually came into it.
Yeah, we have this thing that like Tanisha's like an incredibly good judge of character, and I'm a slightly less good judge of character. But I do think like even there's been some things and situations where both of us right off the bat have been like, no, and like when that happens, we are not wrong. They're not serial killers. No, just people that just rub us up the wrong way end up being a person.
And then we're
like,
right.
Yeah, worked that one out, didn't we? Yeah, I just feel like trust your gut, trust your instincts, speak out. Yes. Yeah. That's our advice.
Yeah.
And read this fun book.
Thank you for listening to our TED Talk.
Yeah. You're all healed.
Yeah, do read it. Yeah. I think it's in That's Why We Drink, and Christine that always talks about it. It's definitely one of the podcasts that I listen to, but yeah, she always goes on about how amazing it is, and they're the reason that I decided to read the book. And it is actually, it's such a cool book. It's such a interesting, like it's a really interesting read.
Yes. Let's get back to it. Okay, this lady, her name is Sonia Salvatierra, and she was a nanny for a family, and she went to the hospital on the night that she was attacked, and she'd come in with a bad head wound, which was just like Amelie's. And after talking with her, she agreed to come back to the UK to help identify this person, because obviously the hospital report, like nothing came of it once again, because she was fine when she went home. And I think it just, shook her up. So she was like, I'm going to leave. But she was like, I will come back to try and work out who this is. Also, around this time, the police had found out information about Bellfield hanging out with sex offenders in the area through surveillance. So he's like going around to hang out with the local sex offenders.
What, has he got the fucking list?
Yeah, I don't know.
And he's like, oh, let's go visit Barry today.
Yeah, literally. It's so interesting that you chose Barry, because that's probably what I would have chose. Why? I don't know.
No.
Oh, dear.
Oh, wait, no. I was about to say, was that the name of the guy in the last one, but it wasn't. No. His name was Robert.
Barry Scott. He's not a sex offender, I hope.
Is he the guy who does Sill It Bang? Bang and the dirt is gone. Yeah.
They managed to get a warrant to search his house because he was also hanging out with sex offenders. So they were like, fuck you up to, mate. This is disgusting. And all of these houses. And so a warrant for his arrest was actually out because they were like, look, he's doing sus things all the time. There's enough people. This woman's come back to the UK saying she might be able to actually identify him.
I think you should be allowed to arrest people for hanging out with known sex offenders.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
It's just creepy. And also the fact that it's like they're surveying him and he's just going round to local sex offenders, plural. That's what he's doing with his
That's
day.
my biggest problem with it.
Yeah,
like,
it's not
plural.
like he's just like going around and then one of his close friends happens to like...
And like maybe
like
he doesn't even know
he's
that
making the rounds.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's wrong. I don't like it. So they plan to complete this on the 23rd of November 2004. Annoyingly, though, on Friday the 19th of November, so just 5 days before this plan was to go ahead, the police got a call from News of the World.
Sorry, I don't know why that's funny.
I know. Just come up with a
I
different
don't
name.
think that exists anymore.
No,
News
I
of
don't
the
think
World.
it does either.
Yeah.
Or it's just got 0 views.
Yeah, it's been fucking snapped up by one of the bigger vultures.
So a journalist calls and says they know who the suspect was and they are planning to release the information to the public in 2 days, which
Could you actually fuck off?
I know. Also, why are you ringing to tell them that? Be like, I need some
You're
information.
such a prick. Like, what the actual fuck? How do you not understand that is so problematic that they're doing an investigation? This person might not even realise that they're a suspect yet.
Yeah, they don't. He doesn't have a single clue. He's just wandering about doing his business. They are being so discreet. They are collecting all of this evidence so that when they bring him in, he will be caught off guard. Like, he thinks he's got away with it.
Oh, you fucking vulture.
Yeah, and they call in and they're like, look, we're going to release this to the public, which would tip him off. So the police had to compromise with this journalist and say that they could actually be there on the day of the arrest to
get the scoop,
just to stop them from
releasing
anything. And
again, love these police officers.
Yeah,
doing everything they can.
They were just like,
Fuck
you
that
already know,
fucking journalist.
I can't stop you. The most I can do is give you first-hand information, which is also, they say on the phone apparently as well, this is really dangerous because he's a dangerous man. If we've got the right man, you shouldn't really be there because if he sees you, who knows what he'll do. But I'm asking you to not publish this because if he catches wind, he can get rid of loads of evidence.
I don't want to be a dickhead, but I hope this journalist gets run over.
Yeah, by himself. Yeah, the day of the they agreed to do this, right? The day of the arrest come and they raid his house that the surveillance had been watching him at, but he wasn't there. Even though they knew he was there.
Honest.
But it's actually fine. They're frantically looking around and I think they check like local motels and stuff like that and they're literally just like, where is this guy? Has anyone seen him? This is such chaos. We've been watching him and he should be in his house. And they find him in his loft. So I don't know how they checked the first time, but he's inside the insulation in his loft and he is naked.
Oh, why?
I don't know.
Also, isn't that like full of fiberglass and shit?
It's an uncomfortable place
Oh my god.
to just slither into. Skin to insulation. Like, it's actually gross.
That is
isn't it?
disgusting.
Like, I just
Why have you taken your clothes off?
And you know that they're going to find you. And that's how they're going to find you. The sergeant must have been like, so I found him. And he's actually in the house that we thought he wasn't in. But he's naked in the insulation.
Oh my god.
You'd be like, I'm dealing with a weirdo. And also, this man is fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like, he's a beast of a man, right? Yeah. It's such a weird little
Those are some
factor.
horrible images.
Him just like that meme of Homer like slipping back into the hedge.
Yeah.
I just imagine him like slipping around
rolling
in
himself into the insulation.
Oh, it's so weird. Yeah, so they arrest him and it's noted that he has a really high-pitched voice. But it's because he's actually addicted to steroids, which makes sense why he is fucking massive. But an effect of steroids if you're a man is that everything shrivels up and
Yeah,
shrinks
your
up and
tiny fucking wang in your high voice.
yeah, exactly, and it just gets a lot more
And I mean,
high-pitched.
rage is quite a big
and your
component of
an
steroids,
angry
isn't
old
it?
man. Yeah, so he's addicted to steroids. So at the start, this guy's finding a naked man with a high-pitched voice just like roaming around in the insulation. And but luckily they've arrested him at this point and everything's fine. So he's taken to Heathrow police station for questioning. And this bit is fucking crazy. I briefly told Tanisha about this at work because I was like, I just need to tell you this absolutely unhinged part. Apparently...
Oh my god, I just remembered. Yeah. I was trying to think what you told me then.
Yeah, crying. So basically, I think he takes the cord of his tracksuit out, and they were supposed to have taken this out, so this is the police's fault for not doing this. And he goes into the bathroom, and he he somehow tries to drown him. I don't know why. That's so funny. He tries to drown himself, but he tries to drown himself in the toilet bowl. By somehow, I think he ties his feet. I don't really understand how he does it.
For some reason, he's tried to tie his feet and then drown himself in the toilet bowl.
And then halfway through doing it, no, I've changed my mind. Help me. And I don't understand why he takes the cord of his tracksuit out if he's just going to stick his head down the toilet, but it's okay. Yeah, he changes his mind and he starts shouting. So the police stop him and then question him, and then he pleads the fifth. He's just no comment the whole time. Also, really annoyingly, Sonia can't identify him for sure. So she's come all the way back and she looks at him and she's just, I don't know 100%. It's been a couple of years. Like, she's probably also tried to block it out.
She also had a head injury.
Yeah, literally. Good point. Like, I think she's just been like, yeah. So whilst the police are like holding him, this is when they start to panic because they're like, we were hoping that she would be able to identify him and we'd at least be able to keep him in there for assaulting her. But yeah, now they're panicking because they haven't got really any reason. But then another queen comes forward with some sass and some goss about Bellfield, and basically this is his current partner / like ex mother of his children.
Okay. Oh, actually, maybe this is her that was in the documentary.
Yeah, I think it's prominent.
Yeah.
Like, this girl is like, her development as well in this case is just so important, I feel, to know. She's just a queen. So this is Emma Mills. At the start, she is absolutely petrified of him. So she comes forward as the mother of the kids. Yeah. And I think they're like trying really hard to be like, anything you can give us on this man will be so helpful. But I think she is so scared because it's, look, we've got him in for potentially murder and potentially running someone over, but we've not really got, and I think I can't just give you out all of this information about him because I'm petrified of him, and
you don't get him.
Yeah, why would you be able to get him just like from me telling you my personal domestic situations that I've had with him?
I'm not being funny, but they were like, the amount of times that they let victims down,
yeah,
especially in cases of domestic violence, like, I'm not surprised that she was...
Yeah, and I think Colin Sutton is, tell her that we are here for her. I know that police can say that, or people can say that, and then be a liar, but they explain how important any information is.
Yes.
And she comes through. So they interview her and she literally starts detailing all of his abuse, and it is literally awful. She says that he emotionally tortured her, beat her, raped her, stopped her from talking to friends and family. He would lock her outside naked all the time and more. But she also said that one time he raped her in the spot where Amelie's belongings had been located. He is active about in this area.
Yeah, it's a known area to them.
He knows where he is. Yeah, they lived local, but like now it's like confirmation that he's been to these places that...
So he couldn't say, never been there.
Exactly. She also informed the police that in March 2002, she was away from her flat in Walton-on-Thames, which near where Millie Dowler went missing.
Okay.
So Levi and her were on a break at the time, but he was apparently trying to get back with her, and she didn't really feel able to say no, so they just ended up getting back together by default.
Yeah.
Then when she saw the news on the 21st of March of Millie Dowler going missing, apparently Bellfield had been with her at the place she was staying that morning, like before Millie had gone missing, but he got up super early and he'd left. Also, she used to get text after text and call after call from him all day, every day, because he was like keeping tabs on her every move.
Yeah, that's quite a common...
Yeah, I think he was like love bombing, and then he was abusive, which is love bombing, I guess, is also like a form of abuse.
Yeah.
In these kind of situations, he's like just like constantly finding out everything she's doing, who she's talking to, like extremely jealous and insecure and stuff like that. Yeah, but this specific day, silence.
Oh, creepy.
Yeah. She didn't see or hear from him all day until 11 p.m.
Yeah.
And he showed up back at the house with beer and some takeaway food. He'd taken her car all day as well, which had the keys to her apartment. So she was like staying, I think she was like house sitting for someone or something.
Okay.
And the keys to the apartment in Walton-on-Thames were on those...
The set.
Keys,
yeah, so he could access her apartment.
Yeah, so he had her car, which wasn't his car, and he had her apartment keys. She felt like she couldn't ask him any of this stuff.
Yeah, I'm not fucking surprised.
Yeah, she just was like, she basically said to the police, like, I couldn't really do anything about it, even if so I was just like, he can take my car.
Yeah, she's just trying to survive.
Yeah. It's probably quite peaceful for her to have a date, even though she's probably worried sick at why he was actually ignoring her. But also he's wearing something that she knew was in the wardrobe at her flat.
Ah.
Yeah, because she'd seen it.
Yeah.
And so she absolutely knew. I think it was like a fucking tracksuit or something.
Yeah, feels like it tracks.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Yeah, they went to bed and apparently he was really restless. And at about 3:30 in the morning, he got up and he went out with the dog. don't take the fucking dog.
Yeah.
We've been through this before.
We've always said this. Leave the fucking dog out of it.
Leave the dogs out of it. So yeah, anyway, her like house sitting is done and she goes back home to her flat and the bedding had been removed, which is wild because this man is not doing any chores.
Yeah, of course he isn't.
Like they'd only recently got back together as well, so it's her flat. So he wouldn't even do chores when he lived there.
Yeah,
you know,
and now all of a sudden
together.
he's going over to our house and changing the bedding.
Yeah, it's just so unrealistic. And then when she asked why he changed the sheets, Bellfield said that the dog had made a mess, so he cleaned it up. But Emma didn't believe him because apparently the dog was like a little queen that didn't do that. And also, she was like he... Even if that had have happened, he would have left that for me.
Yeah, to clean up.
He's not a person that would be like, oh, I'll clean. She didn't believe him, and she thought something was weird was going on, but she actually put it down to him having an affair. Like, just,
right, yeah, of course, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I obviously, again, reiterate that she probably didn't feel like she could do anything, even if... Because she's terrified of him. Yeah, so basically she thought he was having an affair, and she just left it to bed. So then he started saying that they should move house. He started being like, I don't want to live here anymore. I don't like this area and stuff, yeah. And I think she was just like, you're a weirdo, but I'm scared of you, so it doesn't matter. Also, he hadn't returned her car.
What?
Yes, this is so random. The only thing I know about this car is that it's red, okay? I don't know what kind of car it is.
Don't know what the car is.
But this is really important, basically, in the case. But he hadn't returned her car, and when she said, where the hell is my car? He said, oh, I'd left it at the pub when I went for a drink with some friends, and then when I went back for it, I couldn't find it. And she thought this was weird in itself, because it's weird, but she also thought it was weird because he would drink drive anyway.
Yeah, he doesn't... Someone who is on steroids 24/7 and is violent and whatever, I just don't... He doesn't strike me as someone who's, no, I couldn't possibly.
Yeah, I don't want to get any points on my girlfriend's licence. So
no,
I'm just
no 5 and drive for me.
Yeah, I'm not insured, actually. So I think he would just... He took a fucking car and he went to... And he just did whatever he wanted, and he did it all the time.
Yeah.
So him being like, oh, I'm not going to drive home, she just thought that was really weird. Yeah, he actually also took her to the police station, which I thought was really strange, and got her to report her car as missing, but he didn't get involved. Yeah, so it's like she went in and just said...
Car's missing.
Yeah, and I think maybe that was slightly for him being like, oh, you should report it because it is missing. It's nothing to do with me. But also him not being there is him being like...
Also, I think the thing is, it needs to be reported missing, because if they find the car and they find out has Millie Dowler's... like evidence of Millie Dowler on it, then it's not going to be traced back to him. It just looks like someone stole the car and then killed Millie Dowler.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be like, oh my God, that's so convenient because that's the same car that was actually stolen that day and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it takes us to the police station. And then she told the police to get in touch with... This is like back to her doing the interview. So we're like back in current time now. And she's doing this interview and she says, please get in touch with his ex-partners too, because she was absolutely positive that he'd abused them as well.
Yes.
So that's exactly what they do. And... basically DCI Colin Sutton is like, if he can get the other girls to testify, then he can get him charged with assaults and then he can't make bail. If he can't make bail, they can keep him in there. He's not going to do anything to anyone else, and they can just keep piling on any evidence because they're just absolutely convinced that this man obviously is a piece of shit anyway, but this is the man that they're looking for.
Yeah.
They just need to be able to find as much as they can. So they spoke to Joanna Collins again, the one who found the jacket and the magazine and stuff, and they also got in contact with someone called Rebecca Wilkinson, and both girls reported on abuse, physical, sexual and emotional assault, just the same as Emma. Apparently he would start off really loving and kind and thoughtful until he'd move in with them.
Yeah.
And then they had to obey him, else he would kick off.
Until he had control, basically, which is such a master manipulator move. Like, they're always the loveliest, kindest people to begin with, and then all of a sudden they switch up on you quite quickly, don't they?
Yeah, for sure. It sounds just so horrible, like what he would do. Like, he'd basically get them to trust him, and then he would beat them, rape them, force them to have sex with his friends.
Oh.
Which are probably the local sex offenders.
Yeah, my God.
Yeah, and apparently he also, there's reports that he's made some of them sit on a stool for like up to 8 hours and not move.
Oh,
yeah,
my God.
It's horrible. So yeah, all of this evidence comes forward whilst he's in custody, and they are able to convict him of being an overall scumbag. So he can't make bail. He's stuck in here. We've got time till his trial to go in hard, find out as much as we can. Yeah. So that's maybe where we're going to have a little cheeky little break.
Yeah,
do you
we think that we've done a good amount, so
Yeah.
we think that we actually are just going to save the rest for part 2.
Yes, part two. Yeah, I feel like this still, I'm about halfway through.
Yeah,
So I feel
perfect.
like this is a great time, and we've got him in custody. The case is building. The dramas be happening. Stuff. See you very shortly, or
Okay.
technically not very shortly.
Don't forget to follow us
Yeah.
on Instagram at Kill the Mood Pod, and you can email us.
Yeah, email us at killthemoodpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, we will see you next week. Stay spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of love.
Bye.